Have you ever walked into a room and forgotten why you went in there? Or maybe you've struggled to recall a name that's right on the tip of your tongue. Pauses, chuckles softly. Oh, I've been there too. And you know what? Those little moments can make us wonder, is this normal, or should I be worried? Well, today, let's talk about something important. How to keep our minds sharp and lower the risk of Alzheimer's as we age. Because here's the good news. Research shows there are simple, everyday habits that can make a big difference. And the best part? They're things we can all start doing today. Now, I know what you might be thinking. Alzheimer's feels like this huge, scary thing I can't control. But here's the truth. Our daily choices matter more than we realize. Think of your brain like a garden. With a little care, you can help it thrive for years to come. So, in this video, we're going to walk through 6 daily habits that science says can protect your brain. And today, we'll start with the first 2. No complicated routines, no expensive supplements, just practical, doable steps that fit right into your day. Sound good? Let's begin with something you've probably heard before, but stick with me, because how you do it matters. Habit number 1. Move your body, but make it joyful. Now, I'm not talking about running marathons or lifting weights if that's not your thing. The key is to find movement that you enjoy. A brisk walk around the neighborhood, a gentle swim, even dancing to your favorite old tunes in the living room. Why does this matter? Well, when you move, your heart pumps more oxygen-rich blood to your brain. It's like giving your mind a refreshing shower from the inside out. Take my friend Margaret, for example. She started taking a 20-minute walk every morning after breakfast, rain or shine. At first, she did it just to ease her stiff knees. But after a few weeks, she noticed something else. Her mind felt clearer. She'd remember her grocery list without writing it down, and she even started beating her grandkids at card games again. Laughs. Now, Margaret's not a scientist, but she's on to something. Studies show that regular physical activity can reduce Alzheimer's risk by up to 50%. And you don't need to sweat for hours, just 150 minutes a week of moderate exercise. That's about 20 minutes a day. Even gardening or folding laundry counts if you're moving with purpose. Now, let's talk about habit number 2. Feed your brain like it's royalty. And no, I don't mean fancy caviar. Winks. I'm talking about the foods that science calls brain gold. Think colorful plates, berries bursting with antioxidants, leafy greens like spinach and kale, fatty fish like salmon, and a handful of nuts for crunch. These foods fight inflammation, which is a sneaky culprit behind brain decline. On the flip side, processed foods and sugary snacks? They're like pouring sludge into your brain's engine. Slow, sticky, and no good in the long run. Let me share a tip that worked for me. A few years ago, I swapped my morning toast and jam for a bowl of oatmeal topped with blueberries and walnuts. At first, I missed that sweet jam, I won't lie. But within a month, I felt more alert. My afternoon slumps? Gone. And my doctor noticed my cholesterol improved too. Smiles. Small changes add up. Maybe you start by adding one brain-healthy food to each meal. Or try a new recipe, like a spinach omelet with a side of grilled salmon. Your brain, and your taste buds, will thank you. Now, here's something I want you to remember. This isn't about perfection. Had a slice of cake at your granddaughter's birthday? Enjoyed it. Life's too short not to. It's about what you do most days that counts. So, keep moving in ways that feel good, and nourish your body with foods that love you back. And guess what? You're already on your way. These first 2 habits, moving with joy and eating for your brain, are like laying a strong foundation for a house. Once they're part of your routine, you'll be ready to build even more protective habits. And trust me, the next ones we'll explore are just as important, and maybe even surprising. But for now, why not pick one thing to try this week? Maybe a walk after dinner, or swapping that bag of chips for a handful of almonds. Small steps, my friends, lead to big changes. You know, after we talked last time, I got to thinking, our brains are a lot like those old vinyl records. Holds up a record sleeve with a grin. They've got grooves filled with memories, stories, and all the wisdom we've collected over the years. But just like a record needs a needle to bring the music to life, our minds need a little spark to keep playing those beautiful tunes. So today, let's dive into 2 more habits that'll help you keep your brain's symphony going strong. Habit number 3. Challenge your mind, playfully. Now, this isn't about cramming for a test or memorizing the dictionary. Chuckles. It's about giving your brain new puzzles to solve, just for fun. Think of it like taking a different route to the grocery store, trying a new recipe, or even learning a few words of Italian before your next trip. My neighbor, Frank, took up watercolor painting at 68. At first, he said his trees looked like broccoli. Laughs. But now, his grandkids frame his artwork. And guess what? His doctor says his cognitive scores have never been better. Here's why this works. When you learn something new, your brain grows fresh connections between cells. It's like planting wildflowers in that garden we talked about. You don't need to climb Mount Everest. Small challenges work wonders. Try a crossword with your morning coffee, read a book from a genre you've never explored, or even play a round of cards with friends. The key is to keep it light and enjoyable. Stress is the enemy here, so if Sudoku makes you groan, swap it for something that feels like play, not work. And here's a tip. Pair your mental workouts with something you already love. Love gardening? Try identifying new plant species. Enjoy cooking? Experiment with spices from around the world. My wife and I started doing a word of the day during breakfast. Some stick, some don't, but we're laughing either way. And laughter, my friends, brings us right to habit number 4. Stay connected, heart and soul. Now, this one's close to my heart. Did you know that feeling lonely can be as harmful to your brain as smoking a pack of cigarettes a day? Pauses, letting that sink in. Scary, isn't it? But here's the flip side. Staying socially engaged is like a super vitamin for your mind. It's not about having hundreds of friends, it's about meaningful connections. A weekly phone call with your sister, coffee with a neighbor, or even volunteering at the library. Every conversation, every shared laugh, it all lights up your brain like a Christmas tree. Take my buddy Carl. After he retired, he told me he felt invisible, like the world had moved on without him. Then he started helping out at the community garden. Suddenly, he was swapping tomato growing tips with teenagers, sharing stories with fellow veterans, and teaching kids how to compost. Smiles. Now, Carl says he's busier and happier than he was at 50. And his memory, sharper than his pruning shears. Now, I know what some of you might be thinking, but I've always been a bit of a loner. That's okay. Even small interactions count. Wave to the mail carrier. Chat with the barista who makes your coffee. Or join an online group that shares your passion. Maybe birdwatching or classic films. The goal isn't to be the life of the party. It's to remind your brain that it's part of something bigger. Because every time you connect, you're telling your mind, you matter. You're needed. These 2 habits, keeping your mind curious and your heart connected, are like sunshine and rain for that brain garden of yours. They don't just protect against Alzheimer's, they make life richer, don't they? And the beauty is, you can tailor them to fit your rhythm. Maybe today you try a new puzzle, or call an old friend you've been missing. No rush. No pressure. Just one small step toward a brighter, sharper tomorrow. You know, there's something magical about watching a garden grow. You plant the seeds, give them a little care, and over time, voila! You've got a burst of color and life. Pauses, brushing soil off their hands. Well, our brains aren't so different. After all we've talked about, moving, eating, learning, connecting, today, we're going to add the final touches to help that garden flourish. Let's talk about the last 2 habits that'll keep your mind blooming for years to come. Habit number 5. Rest like it's your job. Now, I don't mean napping all day, though a good cat nap never hurt anyone. Winks. I'm talking about quality sleep. See, while we're snoozing, our brains are busy. They're tidying up, clearing out waste proteins that can gunk up our thinking over time. It's like your brain's very own cleanup crew working the night shift. But here's the catch. As we age, sleep can get trickier. Maybe you're waking up more often, or lying there staring at the ceiling. Sound familiar? My cousin, Evelyn, struggled with this for years. She'd wake up at 3 a.m., her mind racing about everything from grocery lists to whether she'd unplugged the iron. Then her doctor suggested a wind-down ritual. Now, an hour before bed, she dims the lights, sips chamomile tea, and listens to old jazz records. No TV, no scrolling. Within a week, she was sleeping like a teenager again. And her senior moments? She says they've nearly vanished. Science backs this up. Just one night of poor sleep increases those sticky brain proteins linked to Alzheimer's. So, treat sleep like the treasure it is. Cool, dark room. Consistent bedtime. And if worries creep in, try jotting them down on a notepad to clear your mind. Now, let's talk about habit number 6. Quiet the storm inside. And by that, I mean stress. A little stress is normal, keeps us on our toes. But when it becomes a constant hum, it's like pouring acid on your brain's delicate wiring. Cortisol, the stress hormone, can actually shrink the part of your brain responsible for memory. Yikes, right? But here's the good news. You don't need to eliminate stress, just soften its edges. Take my friend, Rosa. She used to fret over every little thing, traffic, grandkids' grades, you name it. Then she started spending 10 minutes each morning just breathing. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Sometimes she'd imagine herself floating on a calm lake. Smiles. She told me, it's like hitting a reset button. And guess what? Her blood pressure dropped, and her memory improved. You don't need to meditate if that's not your style. Try knitting, praying, walking in nature, or even humming a favorite hymn. It's about finding your pause button in this noisy world. So there we have it, 6 habits to protect your beautiful, brilliant brain. Let's just take a quick stroll through the garden, shall we? Move your body with joy. Feed your brain like royalty. Challenge your mind playfully. Stay connected heart to heart. Rest deeply. And soften life's stresses. Turns to the camera, eyes shining. None of this is about adding more to your plate. It's about savoring what already matters, and tweaking it, just a little, to love your brain back. Now, I'd love to hear from you. Which of these habits are you already rocking? Or maybe there's one you'd like to try this week. Drop a comment below. I read every single one. And if you found this helpful, do me a favor? Hit that like button and share this with a friend. Let's build a community where we grow stronger, sharper, and sweeter with every passing year. Remember, my friends, it's never too late to tend to your garden. Here's to your health, your joy, and all the memories still waiting to be made.